new starter turns up on day one. There's no accounts for them. They can't access their email. They can't get into Slack. I remember I was consulting and contracting, and I remember it took 3 days for a large company with a large IT department. It took them 3 days to get me a laptop, right? And I couldn't do anything this first 3 days. Had some nice conversations, and that was it.
Let's go ahead and talk about some of the mistakes that you see agency owners making. We were chatting before this, and the most important stage in hiring is really kind of, I'll turn it over to you, and then let's go through some mistakes that they make in that stage.
Yeah, so everyone thinks the hiring process is hard, right? Hiring is hard. Whether you're hiring locally or hiring remotely, hiring is hard. And so you get to what you think is the last stage of hiring, right? You've made the offer, you've signed the agreement, you got the start date confirmed, and you just breathe this sigh of relief, oh, thank goodness, right? I've got this person is starting, my job is done. And it's not, because you've got to get them onboarded, right? And this onboarding phase is the most important bit of hiring, but people they're so relieved, right? They've kind of dealt with all the stress of hiring, right? And they're just ready to just kind of get things moving. So the mistakes that I see is that people either just don't prepare for it. And so new starter turns up on day one, there's no accounts for them. They can't access their email. They can't get into Slack. There's nothing's been prepared for them, right? And agency owners, we're all busy, right? And so maybe we hop on a quick call, we chat them through some stuff, but we're not prepared. And it's just a car crash. I've seen this in the corporate world, years ago. I remember I was consulting and contracting, and I remember it took 3 days for a large company with a large IT department. It took them 3 days to get me a laptop, right? And I couldn't do anything for this first 3 days. Had some nice conversations.
So you were just sitting there?
Just basically, I was having some nice chats, but I couldn't be productive. They were paying me a really significant day rate as well, and super common. And so I think, these are some of the mistakes, right? Not planning it in advance, not just kind of prioritizing it. That's the big thing. Actually, in your own mind, thinking about this as a stage of hiring, because what you want is you want to hire someone that's going to be with you for the long term, for a really long time. So thinking in your head that onboarding isn't just day one, it's not even just week one. I think of onboarding as a 12-week process, right? So 3 months, the end of 3 months, you're done, right? They're fully up to speed. And the effort isn't the same. There's a lot of effort in week one, then it tails off. But mistakes is people not preparing, not prioritizing it. And crucially, the other bit is not giving your new hire the kind of context of the business and the background. So who are your clients? What are your services? Why do you do things that way? So all too often people just are hey, this is what I need you to do. This is what we do for our clients, go. And actually the history and understanding who's who and the team members, things like that makes such a difference to them being able to really kind of go above and beyond for you.
One of the things that we started doing, and I tell a lot of our mastermind members to do this, we created a case story tackle box. And so our whole methodology is around attract, convert, and scale, right? That's our framework. And so we created a Trello board for attract, convert, scale. So we have 4 different columns. And then what we did is every success story we've put and created a Trello card under that category. Because we believe that if we can share those stories, like you were saying, here's our framework, here's the success, and then oh, cool. Because the biggest difference, especially when you're hiring a salesperson or a marketing person, it's the stories that us as owners know that no one else does.
Yeah, absolutely. I literally just added last week, we had 2 new starters coming on board, and I've just added our YouTube happy clients playlist to our onboarding guide. And there's a lot of videos there, 30, maybe 40 videos that we've done so far. And I want them to watch all of them in their first few weeks, because there's nothing that's going to make a new hire feel good than just listening to lots of people say how great this business they've just joined is. So it's reaffirming their decision to join you. But also, like you said, they tell it in a particular way. They say why they're super happy. And that just emphasizes the kinds of behaviors that we want them to model and the kinds of things we want to do.
You got to think about the phases that they're going through as they jump into a job. And it's the same thing as your clients too, right? The first thing is they're going to be excited and elated in the very beginning, and then they're going to have remorse. Did I make the right decision? And if they show up and you don't have a laptop or anything for them for a couple days, they're going to be oh, they don't care about me. And then that's how you start the relationship. That person's probably already going back to LinkedIn or talking to you guys going, hey, place me at somewhere else or any of those.
Yeah, exactly. And this is why this all starts like in the hiring process and when you make the offer. And it's why I always say to people, hey, make the offer on a call. Don't do it on email. Right. And then you're going to hop on a call and you're going to ask them how they're feeling. And then you're going to say, hey, look, I'd really love it if you join our team. This is why I'd love it if you join the team. Why are they being selected? And then ideally, depending how long the period is between offer and them starting, keep in touch, right? It's that bit about kind of keep them being excited. Do they want to read some things, get some details from them? Maybe if you have, swag and merch and things like that you want to send them in advance, then great. But just having some kind of contact that, again, just keeps them comfortable. Exactly the same as clients when they sign up for your service.
Yeah, I mean, and I always laugh, and I was guilty of this. Like, I'm like, oh, I'll just give them all my SOPs, and then they can kind of figure it out.
Yeah, and you've got to give them some things for day one and day two that don't involve conversations with you and the team, right? Because that they need a bit of a breather, right? There's only so much they can absorb. And one of the best things you can do to prepare, some agency owners might not have lots of SOPs, right? And that's okay. The thing you can do to help yourself with that is a few weeks before they start, just hit the record button on Loom and start recording you doing some of the tasks you do that maybe you're going to delegate down to them.
So it's like you're training them there.
Exactly right. So to give them something that they can refer back to, it also lessens the load on you. And also, for me in that first week, so we're a team of, we're 12 people. And in that first week, I want them to meet at least half the team. And then they'll cover the second half in the second week. And we just do like 15-minute meet and greet. Who are you? What's your role? Where do you live? What do you do? And just make them feel like part of the team. Because, and we're fully remote, right? Whereas if you're in an office, this kind of stuff happens naturally, right? They'd go for lunch with you, right? They might go for drinks at the end of the day. If they've got a question, they're going to stop at the corner of your desk and just ask you. And as a manager, you're going to pop in on them and check in on them. Whereas when they're remote, you have to be basically more intentional about this kind of like getting enough time with them and helping them out.
I hope you enjoyed this content. If you want more content like this, make sure you click on the link on the screen or check out your most popular podcast platform where the full episode is there. And until next time, have a swank day. What are you doing? Go check it out. Click on the link. I'll see you soon.